This episode of the Zuloo Podcast is sponsored by Zuloo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at zuloo.com.
Hey, we have talked about a lot today, Darren and I, about how your bathroom is just this like serenity space, right? It's a calming space. And so if you're scarfing snacks, that's
you gotta be
watching your favorite show.
You gotta be feeling
your
pretty
space.
comfortable.
Also,
right?
Yeah.
real quick, there's like 60 million people that live in the UK. So
That's a lot.
that's like 10 million people
Are regularly eating while on the
eating
toilet.
fish and chips on the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll have to read it in this.
Welcome to the Zuloo Podcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humour, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what Zuloo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Zuloo Podcast. Excited to have you listening in today. We've got another super awesome episode. Surprise, surprise, lined up. Darren and I sat down with Gina and Alexander, co-founders and co-designers of Lapee, which is a female urinal based out of Copenhagen.
Okay, today's snap poll is, have you guys ever eaten food on the toilet? Kelsey, yes or no?
I think I probably have when I was pregnant.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I guess that you get a pass for that.
Wow.
I can't confirm for sure because I have the memory of a goldfish, but I can see myself being in that situation. So I'm going to just say yes and cover
Okay.
myself.
And what food do you think you would prefer?
Probably like saltines, or like I ate a lot of canned peaches.
A canned. Are you from the Great Depression? What is this diet?
Hey, when your baby in your belly needs something, you just give that.
When the baby
Yeah.
wants canned peaches, you give it to them.
What did you see out the window? Like a tumbleweed blowing by? It's just dusty people.
I had to use my knife to just
Yeah.
Are you
open the
opening
can
the
up.
can on the toilet? Like
Yeah.
with your...
Just scooping it out, and you're like, finally,
No.
one for me. Don't have to share.
Okay, Quinn, yes or no, ever eaten food on the toilet?
You know what? I think I can comfortably say no. I think I can say this has never happened.
Is that a no-go zone? Like food does not belong there?
You know, it's not my first thought. It's not my first thought isn't like, oh, when I'm excited to have like McDonald's or something, I'm like, oh, I got my meal. I'm so excited. The DoorDash came. Let's rush to the bathroom and eat it all. Like, I'm not like, I'm just, it's the last place I'd want. And also my bathroom experiences can be dark and dangerous. And you know, the come where you're gripping the side of your legs. And I can't wrap my head around wanting to eat food while like it's coming out of you. It doesn't make any sense. So
when
I'm pregnant.
I was going to say, when you're pregnant, I will just inform you that
Canned peaches.
the hunger that pregnancy brings to you is a whole different level of hunger. And when you are constantly running on empty,
Mhm.
the idea of eating while it's necessary that you're on the toilet is not so far-fetched.
Well,
That's how I'm going to rebut that.
I'm going to have to start calling up every mom I know and start really narrowing it down to see if this is a pregnant thing or if this is a Kelsey thing.
Oh, it's not a Kelsey thing. I've never done that outside of pregnancy.
No. I mean, like other women while they were pregnant.
I know. I'm just telling you, pregnant Kelsey versus regular Kelsey, different people. They
Yes.
shouldn't even have shared the same body, but somehow they had to.
Yes.
So,
You had like a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
So you don't
Absolutely.
see yourself eating on the toilet unless you're pregnant, right?
Personally, no.
Okay.
And like I said, I can't even like tell you whether that's a solid memory. I'm just guessing that
Yeah,
I
you can
probably
always say,
did that
I
sometime in
neither-
my first trimester.
I neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
the fact that I may,
But-
Darren's
may
got my
have.
legal.
But I do like the fact that you just want to say yes.
Mhm.
It's more fun. It's a more fun answer.
so you're a no. I'm a definite yes. It's been simple foods like you're saying, like it's a protein bar, it's a protein shake,
Pickles.
It's, not pickles,
Chili.
no,
Your
nothing,
giant grocery
nothing
store
messy.
pickle.
Yeah.
Maybe a Subway sandwich,
Nothing messy.
Yeah.
something like that.
Subway sandwich.
And this kind of segues
Meatball.
into our news piece that we've got that we'll put in the show notes. This is the Sun UK, which is a
Publication.
Newspaper.
reputable
Mhm.
newspaper of record, and where they reveal the headline is "Dirty Habits: 1 in 6 Brits admit to scoffing snacks on the toilet."
1 in 6.
That's a pretty high percentage.
It's a lot. There's like,
That's kind of
Six-
alarming to know that at least one of the people in my friend group
there's
could
like,
consistently eat well.
you're the friend.
No.
Yeah.
Pregnant Kelsey was the friend.
It's got a
Yes.
photo of a gal eating.
Oh.
You had to show this photo.
Doritos.
No, what? No,
Eating a pizza on the toilet.
No.
That's a staged photo. That's okay.
Yeah, I think this may be staged.
It's
yeah,
still
I don't
the.
think it's
Instead
real.
of candid.
I definitely.
It's not like we would just start taking photos of people in the bathroom when they would go to Tesco.
Why did she put her pizza on the toilet seat?
That's right.
Where else is it going to go?
There's-
Just,
I mean,
you're
it
gonna
has
have
a
a whole
bunch-
box in
there's a
one
bunch-
hand.
You're sitting on the toilet. The box is on your lap.
I'm going to now try to eat as often as I can on the toilet, but like not while using it, but just like I'll have a whole pizza box right here.
Just
and
bring
like,
your TV tray in with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, there we go. I'll prop my phone up, like on the ground next to the scale,
Yeah.
and I'll just have a box of pizza in one hand and then eat it with the other. And I mean, there's got to be a reason they're doing it, but
Hey, we have talked about a lot today, Darren and I, about how your bathroom is just this like serenity space, right? It's a calming space. And so if you're scarfing snacks, that's
You got to feel
watching your
gotta-
favorite show.
You got to be
That's
feeling
your
pretty
space.
comfortable.
Also,
right?
Yeah.
real quick, there's like 60 million people that live in the UK. So
That's a lot.
that's like 10 million people
Are regularly eating
Yeah,
while on the
eating
toilet.
fish and chips on the pot.
Yeah, it's irresistible.
Yeah, well, you'll have to read it in the show notes there because there's a lot of other statistics.
Yeah.
1 in 20 eat while having sex. We won't get into that because that subject is outside the scope of the Poodcast. There's plenty of other podcasts that cover those topics.
Yes.
But anyway, that's the news minute.
News minute.
That's the hot news.
And we've got, as we were talking about, our Danish friends, Lapee.
Yeah, Lapee.
Lapee. Oh, sorry.
Lapee.
I didn't pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Lapee.
Lapee. Lapee, like the P.
The accent is on the P.
Yeah,
Is it like
Kind of like Zuloo. Zuloo.
right.
Zulini?
Yeah, they're
Lapee.
awesome. I mean, just to like give our listeners a little bit of background, because I think in our interview we didn't super go into Gina and Alexander's background with founding Lapee, is that they're both architects by trade. They're festival goers. They love their music festivals.
Why wasn't I on this interview?
I know, Quinn, we missed you there. Oh, man. But they saw a need in the market. They were seeing super long queues for women waiting outside the portable loos or just going in the bushes because
It sounds like they're
wasn't
also
a lot.
runners, aren't they? Also,
Sounded kind of like Alexander liked to
This
run.
is-
Yeah.
yeah.
Why wasn't I
I
on
know.
this?
We got to connect you with
Yeah, well,
them.
can I just and I
Yeah.
know people from Denmark. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I feel left out.
Yeah. Sorry, Quinn.
You know?
Yeah. Next time
We
we'll
could've-
have them on again because they are just phenomenal people.
Perfect.
But they saw just this hole in the market of, why are there so many men's urinals here available, so many porta potties available, and still these massive queues for women. So they looked into developing a female urinal, and Lapee was born.
super
Fits
cool.
in- does it fit
Super
in your
cool.
pocket?
I wish it fit in your pocket.
You just keep it with you.
There are
They
these
did
amazing.
have a little model, and they'll show it on the
Yeah.
interview. But
But we hope you enjoy.
Can I guess what the model is?
Yeah.
Is it like something you pull out your pocket and you flip it out like a camping chair and these legs pop up? And it's just kind of like a slide.
Almost.
It's like a slide.
Oh,
Almost.
man.
It just goes down.
Almost just like that.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's a great interview. We hope that you enjoy. Well, Gina, Alexander, welcome to the Zuloo Podcast. We are just so thrilled to have you on. So thrilled to be able to chat with both of you today, get to know you a little bit better, and talk about sanitation in Lapee.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's our pleasure entirely. So we were just chatting about this cutout, this stand-up that you have behind you. We want to see it. Can someone go stand behind it? Show us your face behind it. That really gives me the scale of how You look great. You look great. Love it.
Alexander, how do you do that, man? You got such flexibility. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's been working out a lot.
Many
doing
years
some yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga. And an instant outfit change. I'm impressed.
Yeah, this is actually, it's the model here is actually wearing a Lapee shirt. We had some running shirts made back, I think 2 years ago or something, for a marathon in Copenhagen.
Wow.
So we had we were having like 3 or 4 or 5 girls running a marathon wearing the Lapee shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you actually had the Lapee units at that marathon, right?
Exactly.
Did you have those?
Yeah.
Because I remember
the first marathon that we had Lapee at, we made those shirts.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I remember seeing the Lapee, the units. I guess you call each a Lapee, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing each unit. I saw it. Yeah, it was at least a couple of years ago on. I think it was either YouTube or some news media.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was super cool and super unique. And I just now made the connection. Okay, that's you guys that did that. That's awesome.
Great. Yeah. We had so much presence in the media when we launched the product in 2019. So you probably have seen the product on some kind of Facebook article or video.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing it and I thought, okay, that's really cool. Why don't we have those in America? I've run marathons myself before. I actually half a marathon. I haven't done a full marathon, but the morning before the event, they bust everybody up the canyon. It was here in Utah, and I think they had like 1 or 2 porta potty units, and then you had 150, 200 runners, right? And it was like nobody, obviously there were people in the porta potties, but people were just going out in the woods. I mean, this was and there was this river nearby. It was like, okay, this is a disaster. And no privacy. I mean, you had, just people going because the race was about to start, and and everybody just going wherever they could because they didn't, they needed to be ready for the race. So
you don't want to mess up your time,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing at marathons, it's everybody has to pee at the same time right before the start. So it's actually an extremely needed product for marathons.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and in Denmark they've had, where this particular marathon was also a half marathon. I don't remember. It was thousands of people running at the same time, and they've had male urinals for many years, and they have tons of them. And they've tried to solve, the issues for women with porta potties, and it's not really possible because you cannot have that many porta potties. So, having Lapee there definitely, made a change to this issue because, you want to wait till the very last moment before the start of the run to pee, so you can, actually, first of all, stay hydrated. Secondary, you don't want to mess up your time, by squatting and peeing somewhere during the run. So everybody wants to, go as close to the starting time as possible.
Right. Well, I love the way you designed it, where it's not just a single-use unit. It's you've got 3 units together. Maybe you can talk about how to maybe talk about what your thought processes were going into the design of it? I mean, it's a very aesthetically pleasing design as well. I mean, just maybe you can talk about that.
Well, the thing is that it's actually a bit funny because a lot of the time when we can imagine that it was designed as like a design piece, kind of, that this was a bit like a really artistic design, but actually it's purely functional. The thing was that we were very inspired by the actual most popular mobile male urinal, which is called the cross urinal, which is from the Netherlands, and it's like this great tall urinal that allows 4 men to pee at the same time, and it's a very well industrialized product. So we actually looked at it and we thought, how can we make a female version of this product, because it's quite an iconic product. So we also wanted to have kind of the same something which is recognizable right away, that is like one piece, very malleable, and of course that allowed women to pee in, but also that can really sneak into the industry which is already existing of toilet rental companies and events. So we took all the assets of the male urinal, like how is it transported, how is it clean, how is it with the tank, all of those functionalities, and translated it into a female version for women that squat to pee. So, well, actually, yeah, it was, and then nothing is there by only aesthetic choice. Also, the height is there, so someone can really look around while going in and peeing, but no one can look inside from outside. All the measurements are very precise, like it's wide enough inside, but small enough for the whole Lapee to fit into a container. I mean, everything is there for a function.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the requirement specifications that was already there from the male product, we simply just went through all of those and said, well, if we have to implement something and that women can demand, well, then there has to be, then it has to fit into the routines that the male product has. So basically, we just went through those one by one, and eventually, it of course, also thinking about how you should use it as an end user. But eventually, it came out like it is. So manufactured the same way. As Gina said, cleaned, maintained, transported the same way. It's used for the other half of the globe.
And we also one of the first problematic that we thought about was, okay, what makes a urinal very efficient? Why is it that a urinal is just so fast to use, and why is there always queue to the toilet but never for men because they have urinals? And then, of course, one of the big aspects that we found out was that actually there's no door and no lock. And that means that, of course, if you cannot enclose yourself into a space, then you will actually not spend any extra time doing anything else, or just purely extra time. You will actually just leave the space for the other one right away. Mm-hmm. It's not something, it's all about, it's a balance between intimacy and efficiency. Like, it's intimate enough for you to just pee, but it's not too intimate, so nothing else will be done.
Yeah, it's interesting how you've got that balance of privacy, but then efficiency at the same time. I think definitely the efficiency is there. You definitely nailed that. But as far as the aesthetics of it as well, it looks like it's an inviting. I would think it's an inviting. I mean, I'm not a woman. Kelsey, what about you? I mean, would you?
Yeah, I'd pee in that.
Find yourself inviting. Okay, well, I'll definitely use that, especially if your head is popping above and looking around. Is that?
I think I have a special advantage. I don't know that my head would pop above. So I would.
Yeah, you're only how tall are you? You're 5. Are you 5'1"?
I'm 5 foot, so I'm a shorty.
5 foot even.
Yeah, 5 foot even.
If you don't, guys, with your kids, we have no idea what that means.
5 feet, is that like?
I'm very short. I'm very, very short.
A meter, maybe 1.5 meters.
1.5 meters. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I think actually the product is 1.70 meters. So
there you go.
Okay, so Kelsey, you would just be totally.
From the inside, it's 1.10 meters. So there's like the floor is elevated 60 centimeters. I don't know what that is in feet, but something. Yeah.
Oh man. No, but I would definitely, like, speaking to Darren's point, it is aesthetically pleasing, right? And I think the product design is really intuitive because you set that at an event, and somebody who doesn't know what it is, well, they're going to get curious. What is that? And it's hot pink. So somebody, I gotta go check that out. And so it's marketing in and of itself, which is a beautiful, amazing thing that you've done.
But I also think that some part of the aesthetic is also when you are dealing with something. I mean, now we are talking about sanitation and we're used to that. You guys are used to that. But I also think when you're dealing with something, our main aspect is sanitation, but it's also gender equality. Mm-hmm. Those are quite, important subjects. And therefore, it was also important for us to have the color pink, which is, of course, not directly functional, but then again, it is quite functional because you take a subject like sanitation, which is it taps into some taboos. But here we kind of force it with design and with the choice of the pink color that is relatively loud in the picture of the streets. You kind of also force it into the conversation of people, because if you see it in the street, you cannot help not talking about it. You kind of want to talk about it and say, what's that? I mean, it doesn't really blend in. So in that way, we also wanted to bring up, the conversation about not only sanitation, but also, gender equality within sanitation, which is, what we work with and therefore acknowledge as quite a problem we're trying to solve. So in that way, I think that we also try to use aesthetics or design to push, to open a dialogue.
Yeah, it does. It does, definitely. I think that, anybody outside of the space of sanitation doesn't see that gender equality right away. I mean, we joke about it, right? Especially in like our Western cultures, like, okay, women take so much longer to go to the bathroom than men, or I don't know. There's so many different scripts with it, right? So on that side, yes, but seeing like, okay, the accessibility of it. Do women have as much access as men? No. Is there spaces that allow women to protect themselves or to take care of menstrual health issues, things that complicate, right, that digestive tract, that urinary tract differently? Because it is a little bit more complex than male anatomy. And it really is something, that needs to be talked about more. So grateful that you guys are in that space, opening up that dialogue. I'm curious to know, since having started Lapee, what is one surprising thing that's come out of your work that maybe, from your previous backgrounds in architecture, you didn't foresee?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's many, I think.
You can start.
Well, I have to say that the reason that we are here, and also the biggest challenge, I think at least one of them, is that when you invent a product where I don't think that we invented a market. We defined a market that we believed was existing, but it was not really defined before. We are in an area where we are working on changing behavior. This means that we have to tell not only least of all the female guests at festivals or marathons, we have to tell that they have to pee because they know. But it seems like the rest of the world kind of forgot that women have to pee. Mm-hmm. So even though for us the problem is obvious, it's not obvious for everyone. And so this designing for behavioral change, that is something that came, at least, to me, it was a surprise that it takes time, even though it's such a basic need. Everybody drinks water. Everybody has to get rid of the water again. You don't question that women have to drink water, but sometimes it seems like you question that they have to get rid of it again. Yeah. And they want to get rid of it easy and fast and, accessibly. Yeah. And I mean, these things are at the top of my mind. That's definitely one of the big challenges that we have met, and it's a continuous challenge. There's definitely it's going in the right direction. We are evolving. The world is evolving, and a lot of things has happened for the past 4 years. And
I think one of the biggest surprise was also like when we started designing Lapee, we investigated, can we even do this? Do we have freedom of operation? We looked at the patent database and so on, because we also filed one. And it was such a big surprise to see that there was nothing there yet, like that we were completely alone in the field, and that and we filed the patent. It took nothing to get it approved, because it was such a empty,
it's a novel concept
area. It was insane, and we were so surprised by that, because we knew it was an insane need, and we were quite surprised that no one was really there before. Also because I remember that at festivals, years after years, there was like every year new male urinals. And I was thinking, like,
more of them keeping growing.
Yeah. How come there is just not a company trying to focus on the obvious hole in the market here? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to ask you, have you guys been working with the portable sanitation industry in connection with this product, or are they sort of just focused on their boxes and what as far as adopting adopting the Lapee unit, what has that been like for you? Or are you guys just doing it straight on your own?
I think that usually when we talk about the way we operate, we divide it into, say that we have 3 funnels or 3 user groups. We have, of course, the users, the end users, the women. And then we have the events. Some events, as you said, some events are more focused on the infrastructure, the build-up, the sanitation than others. So that would be the events, the marathons, or the festivals. And then we have the suppliers that would be the toilet rentals. And this is a product that you don't buy it as a private person and bring it to a festival. This is something that you will find at festivals. Most festivals don't own equipment like this. They don't own fences. They don't own toilets. Right. They don't own, transformers. They don't own all of that stuff. Tents, big tents, they don't own that. So we had to, that was a part of looking into the ecosystem of the male urinals. So we did some research there and figured out how is this whole industry put together. So we are not interested in redefining that industry. We are more interested in finding out how can we, as Gina said, design a product that sneaks into that industry. So how can we take all the requirement specifications from the existing products in that industry, the way it's maneuvered around with a pump truck or with a forklift or with a crane, the way it's cleaned with a high pressure hose, the way there is, there's a 1,100 liter tank. I'm not sure how much that is in gallons, but it's quite a lot.
And it's all one unit, right? It's all one, or do you assemble it on site, or do you?
It is actually one unit, but it is a tank and walls, but you can take them apart and actually stack them for transportation.
Okay, so transporting, it's not all one unit. You've got the tank and then the walls you assemble together.
Yeah, most of the time they will be stacked when they come. They go from the factory to the toilet rental company that has bought them. But then most of the time they will go already assembled to the event. So basically, when they are delivered to the event, there's nothing to do. You just place it at the event, and it's ready to be used. Because we also knew from this industry, we also knew that people don't want to have to assemble anything around toilets when it comes to set up a festival. There's so much work to do everywhere. So
they just want it to be dropped off and placed, and that's
it must be as easy as it can be.
Yeah. Right.
It's a plug and play solution.
Plug and play.
Yeah. So do you guys work with mainly? So you obviously work with the event coordinators, but are portable sanitation companies in Europe super excited to adopt it, or are they? Have you had success working with them and
in addition to their traditional boxed portaloos or porta potties?
Yeah, well, I think when we launched the product in 2019 in Denmark, we didn't think we would start selling internationally right away, but we actually did because we got press coverage in worldwide. So we actually started closing a lot of sales in Europe and even in Australia. The sales went much faster and much better than we expected at the beginning. I mean, it was going very fast. And I think most of all the toilet rental company that have adopted Lapee, they're very happy about it. And also all the events that have had Lapee, they cannot imagine an event without it anymore. So it's like, it's been a pretty good success. Yeah. I mean, Corona hasn't helped us, but it slowed down the whole thing for a while, but we're still here.
I was going to ask you, I mean, about how the pandemic has affected your business with a lot of these events being canceled. And, I mean, obviously that hopefully we're on the tail end of it, but has that been a struggle for you?
I think I mean, there's no question that a lot of events were canceled or postponed, and therefore not having the need for Lapee. I mean, Lapee makes sense if you have to be more than 20 people, there has to be an actual, queue to the bathroom. You have to, so when you are at these events where you're more than 1,000 or 2,000 people or something, it's really starting to make sense. A lot of those events were canceled or postponed. So that had a big impact on not only us, but also our partners. We have, I think we have 20 something rental partners in Europe, one in Australia as well. But I think that what the pandemic, if we should stay positive and also look at the bright side of things, I think that the pandemic has also changed a bit of our view on hygiene and therefore also sanitation. And the P is this simple product where you don't really touch anything. It's a
there's no doors and handles, and
exactly. You basically
just go in and you
have a hand sanitizer on top of it, so you can sanitize your hands after you use it. But basically, there's nothing for you to touch.
It's auto ventilated.
It's open. It's simple. There's basically no touching surfaces, and I think that when going ahead, I think that that's something that we can feel in the business, that it attracts interest. That you wanna. I mean, there is more focus on sanitation. You want to be better at that. You don't want to be a big festival spreading, viruses around. So of course, this is a part of the solution in many ways. And one of them is regarding that. Definitely,
and I think also we were affected, of course, on the event-wise with the business, but it also opened up a new market a little bit that takes more time to grow and everything. But we started renting out the product to cities and communes, municipalities. And that was because of Corona, because since bars and restaurants were closed and a lot of people were hanging out just outside, then they could see a much bigger need for sanitation solution in the public space.
Absolutely. We were just chatting about, Darren and I, the other day, how there really is here in the US a public restroom crisis, right? A lot of the public restrooms and publicly owned parks or nature spaces, they're just shut down. Part of that's because of the pandemic, and so there's not workers to come in and take care of them. And the other part of that is just because people find them kind of repulsive, right? They're like communal bathroom spaces that people don't want to enter. They find them icky. There's a stigma around them. Oftentimes you do have, nature gets into them, or people might come and try to occupy them if they don't have a home of their own or a toilet of their own. So lots of issues surrounding it. And I think it's amazing that you have been working with municipalities to get these into more public spaces. And COVID opened that up. I mean, it's so cool that even within a space where you think this might be destructive or, wow, how are we going to bounce back? There's an opportunity to work within that. And just congratulations for seeing that and taking it up. I mean, even speaking to Darren's earlier point, if I saw that in my public park and I really had to go to the bathroom, I'd use Lapee. Like, I'd be so stoked about it because I don't have to enter that public space. I don't have to touch the lock. I don't have to deal with the smell. I don't have to, even maybe get worried about being locked in there somehow. I don't know.
But definitely for me, I think for me, it was such a good thing that you don't have to touch the door, the handle, and the lock. I mean, seriously, I really think that's somehow a luxury.
It is absolutely a luxury. And I mean, I do remember at the start of the pandemic, being in my workplace, and they were telling us everybody had their own like disinfectant wipes. It was such a commodity that you had like these disinfectant wipes. And they were saying, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth, just be aware. I remember thinking to myself, whoa, I touch my face a lot. And so when I think about, oh my gosh, what was I doing before this? Like, I'm a pretty hygienic person. I wash my hands, I use hand sanitizer before, after bathroom, regardless, But then I realized, like, how many surfaces am I touching between doing these things? So many. And I think especially when you're out on the road on a trip, or you're at the park with your family, you're not thinking about, oh, I'm touching my laptop and then my desk and then my phone. You're just living in the present moment. And so to take that extra worry, that burden of, am I getting bathroom germs, fecal matter, anything like that, and moving it onto my phone or spreading it to my family, it's a huge burden lifted off so many shoulders to be able to do that.
Yes.
I think maybe we should make an app that can count how many times you touch the surface during the day.
Oh, I don't want to know.
It'd be off the chart, I'm sure. I was going to ask you regarding the design of it. Is it like if Kelsey was mentioning like a public park or something like that? I don't know, you primarily use it in a portable sanitation context for events and things, but is there a design on the horizon, or do you envision possibly a permanent sort of unit that could be placed in a park like that, or is that sort of have you looked at like a permanent type structure for the use of that, or is it mainly the portable sanitation space that you guys are focused on?
I mean, we've thought about it, but for now, I think when we are getting demand from communes with the product as it is actually, but in a more long-term rent model. And I mean, if people are using this and the community is happy, then I think right now there's no need to make another.
Yeah, right.
I think so far we have this one. Maybe later on, I mean, we could make one in marble. That would be nice, of course. But
yeah, definitely. But I also think that as Gina says, it has been used and it can be used as this semi-permanent solution. It's not.
You could put it out for the summer maybe.
Exactly, and then it's actually also quite nice. I mean, here in Denmark, we have in Copenhagen we have permanent male urinals in the streets.
Okay,
and they close them during the winter.
Okay,
I mean, so I think that actually our solution is a little bit better, that you have them out, during the summer, and then instead of closing them and having them staying around, you just
take them apart and.
But I think that this talk about why we started it in the portable sanitation industry is probably that we knew from, the whole thing started with Gina and I at Roskilde Festival, a big Danish festival, just looking there. And, we have 150,000 people basically on one grass field for 10 days straight. And the sanitation requirements are, they are pretty pressured at this in this time of year, right? So this is an obvious place to start to try to change behavior for people.
Yeah, right.
It's really at its highest. But of course, women don't only have to pee when they're at a festival or at a marathon. I mean, not so long ago, I went to the cinema with my girlfriend, and after the movie, we both went to the bathroom. I go into the hallway towards the bathroom. There are male and female bathrooms. And I just were met by the eyes of a lady in the 50s or 60s or something. And she looks at me and she says, well, there's no queue where you're going. Because there was just like a long queue for the ladies' bathroom and there was no queue for the male bathroom. And this is basically because in the male bathroom, there might be, 5 or 6 urinals and 2 toilet stalls. In the female bathroom, there are 5 or 6 toilet stalls. So it's just like it doesn't create the same amount of queue for men. But I think that at some point in time, we will move into that market because it's also something we have talked about. Yeah. Some people who are facilitating urinals for stationary indoor urinals. We have talked about that maybe it could be interesting at some point doing something together. But I think that with the Lapee and with the outdoor use and with the extreme need that you'll find at these events and festivals, we still have some
a way to go.
Yeah, there is still a way to go. I mean, it's still we are not a normality yet, but in 5-10 years you will find female urinals or female urinals at a normal toilet at the airport, at the cinema, at the school.
Yeah, I was actually at the Miami airport a few weeks ago, and they had actually taken a number of the male toilets or the male restrooms, and they converted them 100% to female just to, because, you've got so much demand, people getting off planes, and the men are in and out so fast. So I think they took about half of the male toilets, which obviously were not being used, and they just converted the whole thing to women. And that way it seemed to balance out the the inequality as that goes. But as far as the actual urinal design itself, I actually talked to my wife about it, and she said, well, she doesn't even sit down anyway, when she goes to the bathroom, but when she just does a number 1 or a number 2, right? So it's like, well, these urinals seem like just an easy solution for that, and I think to the extent that they could be adopted into permanent restroom design would be great.
Totally. Well, you both, we have to get wrapping up here. We have so appreciated chatting with you both, getting to see your faces, learning more about Lapee and where you're.
I was just going to ask what really quick in the few minutes we have left, what do you guys see on the horizon for 2022 and the next the next few years? What's on your bucket list or your goals?
To spread Lapee in as many places as possible, at least where it's really needed. That's one thing. I mean, and that's going to be the main focus. Of course, then we are also working on some kind of parallel projects, but Lapee is our main goal, and we really want to launch the product well now after the pandemic.
I mean, I also am just looking forward to going out to the festivals and actually seeing it live again. I mean, it's been a while. We've been looking at this for a while, and I mean, it's going to be good to go out and actually see. I remember, when we've had it around Copenhagen for municipalities past summer, I just remember I haven't seen our product for almost a year, and I was looking at it and I was like, holy sorry. I mean, I was like, wow, it's really, really good to see girls just going in and out and, smiling. I was just like, wow, I needed that. So I'm really looking forward to making a difference in the streets or in the festivals or wherever.
Yeah, we're actually having we're actually doing another podcast interview with the US-based Portable Sanitation Alliance. So I'm definitely going to bring that up in our interview. You definitely, I've never seen Lapee in the United States, but I think it's
we need it.
We want, I think it'd be a golden market for you for sure.
Yeah, but I believe so a lot. Also, you guys have huge festivals and with toilets and huge lines to the toilets.
Yeah.
Something Coachella or Burning Man where there was like pictures of the queue to the toilets where it was crazy. So I totally believe that we have our place in the United States. So, but yeah, if you know any toilet rental company that you think would be interested, please let us know.
Absolutely. We'll send them your way. Well, have a wonderful evening. Thank you again for chatting, and we hope to talk to you both again soon.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. That was a great interview with Gina and Alexander, something that I just feel like I learned a lot. We talked a lot about gender inequality as far as sanitation spaces go, and just recognizing where that is and how to make a difference in that space.
What was amazing is that they didn't, they found there's no competition.
Right.
Apparently there's men's urinals, and they sort of looked at that model, and there was just they got a patent on it, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And I just see that as a huge potential market. I mean, I don't see any of them in the U.S. I've never seen one.
I've never seen or heard of a female urinal.
I mean, it seems like just a window of opportunity there.
I've actually seen one
in
real life.
Yeah.
Not like in a public bathroom, but someone who is an Amazon delivery driver. She
has her own
something
like makeshift.
It was like something you can buy. It was like a seat that was like you could put under you.
Yeah.
I think that you could use it for like kids. Yeah, like you put that little seat below them to catch it.
Yeah.
It was like an adult version of that. She brought it.
Wow, she's hardcore.
She brought that to work, and I was like,
wow.
And then the best part is she forgot it.
And then
someone else found it. In the van. So of all the things to forget, it's
no.
that. So yes, but I like that we're getting more equal, that men and women can forget things that they've pissed in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we hope that you will check out Lapee. Our hope is that we will help Lapee get into the U.S. market. We've got a lot of musical festivals here within the United States, and they are currently in several countries in Europe and also in Australia, but have yet to move over our way. So we'll be excited to see them hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, lapee.com, right? LAPEE.com. We'll put it in the show notes below as well. Before we go, I wanted to highlight this book, Know Your Shite, I think it's called. Sean Schaffner, and we've talked to Sean.
We have talked to Sean.
We need to get him on the show.
Yeah.
To talk about this book, but my book just arrived. I got home yesterday, and there it was, ready to go. But Know Your Shite, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm excited to.
But it's a cute little book.
It's a cute little book.
I was skimming through it, and it's just got like tons of information.
It's got this really original artwork on it, and lots of illustrations, and
Sean's an amazing guy.
Yeah, Sean's like super, such full of creative talent
and so knowledgeable in the space of sanitation. Sean doesn't directly work necessarily within the sanitation arena, just sort of on the outskirts of it, and yet he's written his own book.
Know Your Shite, What Your Crap is Telling You. Yeah. So it's a fantastic book. We'll put a link to his website where you can get the book. And we're going to have him on the show pretty soon. So anyway, just a shout out to Sean. So
congratulations, Sean.
Good job, Sean.
Yeah, we're proud of you, Sean. Okay, everybody, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Zuloo Podcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, zuloo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more Zuloo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@zuloo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the Zuloo Podcast is sponsored by Zuloo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water, and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at zuloo.com.